Chapter 5 Dr. Mac and Mr. Quinn stand with their arms crossed as Trickster munches hay in his stall. "How's his leg?" I ask, walking quietly up behind them. Trickster lifts his head at the sound of my voice. He nickers and shakes his head so that his forelock flops from side to side. "David, didn't hear you coming," Dr. Mac says. "It should heal without any problems. The swelling is already down, and he isn't limping. I don't see any infection in his cut. His prognosis is excellent, I'd say." "How soon can I ride him?" I feel Mr. Quinn watching me. "I mean, how soon before he can be ridden?" "That depends," Dr. Mac says. "I don't want to turn him loose in a pasture. He might re-injure himself. But I don't like the idea of keeping him in a stall 24 hours a day either." Mr. Quinn puts out his hands. "I don't have the staff to walk him, JJ, he tells Dr. Mac. "I'm training 3 horses on top of caring for the boarders and getting my own horses ready for competition." You run a risk either way, keeping him stalled or letting him run," Dr. Mac observes. Mr. Quinn slaps the dust off his jeans. "Trickster knows we're talking about him. He sticks his head out of the stall for me to pet him. I move the stray hairs of his forelock out of his eyes. He looks me right in the eye. It's like looking in a mirror. It's weird, but I feel like he's trying to talk to me, to tell me what he wants. I'll walk him." The words pop out of my mouth before I know what I'm saying. "I'll come as soon as school gets out, and I'll stay until dark. I'll even come in the morning before school starts." Dr. Mac's right eyebrow goes up to half-mast. Mr. Quinn recrosses his arms over his chest. "I know you, David Hutchinson," he says. "You want something. What do you get out of this?" No use fooling around. "I get to ride him," I say bluntly. "I'll do whatever Trickster needs, and when he's better, you let me ride him. We'd be great for each other, I can tell." Mr. Quinn picks up some strands of straw on the floor and tosses them into the stall. What is he thinking? "David has helped at the clinic almost every day this spring," Dr. Mac says. "He does a good job for me. I think he deserves a chance." "You'd have to walk him for 45 minutes morning and night, and make sure he doesn't get too warm," Mr. Quinn says sternly. "You'd be responsible for telling me if the leg swelled up any, or if he limped or tripped." "Of course," I say. "I'll do whatever you need me to do." "It may take a few weeks," Dr. Mac points out. "And you won't wander off like you did during that little incident last year?" Mr. Quinn asks. "No, sir. I promise, Mr. Quinn. I swear. I've learned a lot since then." He relaxes and chuckles slightly, then shakes his head. "You sure do remind me of your father, you know that?" I don't know what to say to that. I know Mr. Quinn is, or was, good friends with Dad, but I don't like talking about my father to anybody. "All right, we have a deal," Mr. Quinn says abruptly. "We do?" "You heard me. We have a deal. Prove yourself with Trickster, and you'll ride him." Mr. Quinn points a calloused finger at me. "But no fooling around, understand? No shenanigans. Promise?" "I promise. Scout's honor. Cross my heart and hope to die. What do you want me to do first?" Dr. Mac's eyebrow sinks back where it belongs. "This horse needs a walk. A nice, slow walk. Don't let him trot or kick up his heels, just a walk." "Now?" I ask. I want to fit him out with a better halter," Mr. Quinn says as he checks his watch. "You can walk him while the girls have their first lesson. Follow them and watch how he reacts to other horses. I don't know too much about his social skills yet." "And when he's all better, I get to ride him," I repeat, just to make sure he wasn't fooling with me. "If you take care of him properly, you can ride him." Yee-haw! I did it! By the time I get to the exercise ring, the girls are standing next to their horses, all of which I recognize from last year. Maggie is teamed with Gus, which is just as well because they are both on the short side. Zoe will ride Claiborne, a deep bay thoroughbred with white stockings, or markings on the lower part of his legs. Sunita is next to old Gertie, a perfect fit. Gertie will be gentle and slow. Brenna is standing next to Blitzen, a Palomino mare. I've never ridden her, but she has a reputation for being stubborn, so she'll be a good match for Brenna. There's one extra horse, Farah, saddled and waiting for me. I'm disappointed for a second that I'm not going to get to ride, but that's okay. Trickster will leave Farah in the dust when he's better. We're going to be great together. Wait till the others hear the news. I climb on the gate next to the girls and holler, "Hey, I'm going to ride Trickster!" Bad idea. Blitzen snorts and skitters sideways. Brenna clutches at the reins, but Blitzen bumps into the rear end of Gertie, Sunita's horse. Gertie looks at Blitzen and lowers her head again. Nothing phases Gertie. "Everyone stay calm," Linda says in a quiet but powerful voice. She slowly walks up to Blitzen and says something to her. Brenna looks pale. I feel stupid. I should know better than to shout at a group of horses, especially when there are green riders around. I'm going to pause right here to point out that calling somebody a green rider is obviously not literal. None of these people are physically green. But from context, since they're all new riders, we can figure out that green just means inexperienced. They're new riders. So if the horse gets skittish, they may not know what to do. So he should have known better than to yell, because they're not experienced riders. When Linda has Blitzen settled down, she walks back to the middle of the ring. "Okay," she says to me, "no more stunts like that. There's some gear for you on that hay bale. Put it on and keep your voice down." "Sorry, I was a little excited," I say as I climb down into the ring. "I'm not riding today. Mr. Quinn is going to let me work with Trickster. He wants me to walk him while you guys ride." "Lucky you," Linda says. "He looks like a fun horse." "Okay, let's get going. Ready, girls? Mount up." Zoe mounts perfectly. She puts the toe of her left boot carefully in the stirrup. Stirrup is this part where your foot goes. So she doesn't poke her horse in the side. She hops straight up and freezes for an instant so Claiborne can get used to her weight. Then Zoe swings her right leg over the horse's back. She pauses again, standing with a foot in each stirrup. It's not polite to plop down on a horse's back. Claiborne is totally relaxed, so Zoe sits lightly in the saddle. Sheesh, she was telling the truth. She really has ridden before. But she can't call herself a real rider, not until she shovels a lot more manure. Maggie struggles a little, but pulls herself up into Gus's saddle. Linda gives Sunita and Brenna boosts and shows them how to put their feet in the stirrups and sit so that their weight is forward, where it's most comfortable for the horse. Once everyone is correctly seated, Linda stands in the middle of the large ring. We're going to start out nice and easy. Gently squeeze your heels to tell your horse to walk. The girls follow the instruction and their horses step forward. Good, good, Linda calls. Just walk nice and slow. Get to know your horse and let your horse get to know you. Relax. Horses are extra sensitive creatures. They can tell if you're nervous, if you're happy, if you feel sick, or if you're having the time of your life. Relax. Easy for her to say, Bretta mutters as she and Blitzen pass me. She's standing on the ground. If I didn't know any better, I'd say Brenna was nervous. But she's not afraid of anything, not even snakes, which, to be totally honest, make me want to scream and climb on top of furniture. You're doing great, Brenna, I call. Chill out and you'll have more fun. It's not so bad, Maggie calls from the other side of the exercise ring. When can we gallop? She and Gus are moving along like they've been riding together for years. Maggie can do anything athletic. Linda has the riders practice starting and stopping and lets them circle the ring a few more times. Then she opens the gate that leads outside and swings herself up onto her horse, a medium-sized bay with a white blaze down the middle of his brown face. I'm not sure about the breed. He has a heavy build. Maybe he has some Clydesdale blood in him. He wasn't built for speed, that's for sure. Time to head out on the trail, Linda says. The trail? Brenna asks. Don't worry, you can do it, Linda assures her. You look terrific. Here's the order I want. I'll go first, then Sunita, Maggie, Zoe, Brenna. David, you follow behind us leading Trickster. While the others get in line, Brenna hangs back. Are you sure you don't want to ride? I could walk Trickster, she offers. Are you okay? I ask quietly so that the others can't hear. I've never seen Brenna nervous before. What do you mean? Of course I'm okay, she says quickly. What, you think I'm afraid? I just thought you wanted to ride. You were so fired up about it at the clinic. Brenna, David, get it in gear, Linda calls. I'm not afraid of anything, Bretta mutters as she urges Blitzen forward. I follow them out of the enclosed exercise ring to the paddock outside. Trickster is waiting for me at the gate with Mr. Quinn. Trickster nickers loudly. I think he missed me. Here you go, Mr. Quinn says, handing me the lead rope. Take it nice and slow, and there won't be any problems. Are you coming with us? I ask. Nope, I'm going to put Starfire through his paces, he says, nodding toward the saddled horse. Starfire, Mr. Quinn's best show horse, prances in place. A giant black thoroughbred who can run faster than the wind, Starfire is the perfect horse for Mr. Quinn. They're both strong and smart. We'll be jumping in the field at the base of the hill, he continues. Follow directions and be careful. Are we ready? Linda calls from the head of the line. All set, I answer. Linda's horse moves forward, followed by my friends. Trickster picks up his feet quickly like he wants to trot, but I put my hand on his shoulder. Oh, no, you don't, I tell him. We are not running today. You heard Mr. Quinn. Take it easy. Trickster snorts loudly, as if he's annoyed. He feels like running. I can't blame him, especially after being cooped up in the trailer yesterday. And it's a perfect day. Not too hot, not too cold. The grass is green, a breeze blowing. Stop it. No running today. Pay attention to Trickster and watch his leg. That part is in italics. Since it's not in quotation marks, it's just in italics. That means that David is thinking these thoughts to himself. So these are the words that he's thinking in his head. And then this last part in quotations, he actually speaks out loud. Soon, buddy. I stroke his muzzle. We'll get to run soon, I promise, but not today.